All right, so now we're gonna look at how to create like a loading bar and pie charts with expressions. So this is really simple. All we have to do is simply go up here to our rounded rectangle tool, and I'll draw out this shape, something like that. And I will center my anchor point. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to create a line. So I'm gonna make sure that I'm clicked off of my shape layer 1, and I'm gonna go up to my pen tool, click right here, then right here, and I'm gonna take away the fill. So no fill, and I just want a stroke. And I'm gonna make this a little bit longer, right about there. And I will pick this color here, this yellowish color. Good. Now what we do is we just drag this guy down, right about there, and we can center the anchor point as well if we want. Now what we're gonna do is we are going to call this our loading bar, and this guy over here is going to be called the background. And for the loading bar, I'm actually going to move him over a little bit, right about there, and we'll drag him out just a touch more. So grab this guy, something about there. All right. Now what we have to do is we have to add a trim paths. So I'm going to open this guy up more, and then go to content, shape 1, and then I'm gonna click on my stroke, and I'm gonna add a trim paths right here, select on it, and then around my 2-second line I'm gonna select my end. Then at the 0 I'm gonna make this 0. If I play this back, I have this, very nice. And I'm gonna add like a number here so that it shows like the percentage of how much is being loaded. So you just go up here to your text, and we'll type out 1, 2, 3. And then we're gonna drop this down, drop down the text. Under source text, we're gonna pick whip to our end of our trim paths. So if I play this back now, notice that our text is following our trim paths. Now, I don't like the way this source text looks, so I'm going to actually round this. So go right here, go to the beginning. Then you're going to add this JavaScript math round. Then we get rid of this value here, leave the first parentheses, and then add another parenthesis at the end. Now our number is rounded, like this. Very nice. And we can pull this guy down right about there. Now I want to put a percentage mark at the end of this. How could I do this as well? Well, all you have to do is simply go over here, add a plus sign, and then you're going to put a quotation marks percent sign, and then it's going to add another quotation marks after it. And if I play this back, we have this. So that's pretty cool. Now, if I wanted to add like an opacity, so have it fade in, all I would have to do is go to the beginning again, pull up the opacity, and then I just have to link my opacity to my end right here. So I have this. Now let's say I wanted to put my loading bar all the way up to 75%, but I wanted my text to be still following the loading bar and 100% visible at the end. How could I work with this? Well, I could turn this into, say, 75%. We'll do 50 actually. We'll do 50%. And then for my opacity, I'm going to open up this expression right here, and I'm going to times it by, say, we'll do 5. And if I play it back now, notice that it comes in at 100% because I times it. If I didn't have this, it would just be at 50%. So I'll press Ctrl Z to undo that and add it back. So that's a little bit about how you can work with loading bars with expressions. I'll turn all this off. I'll grab a circle, or an ellipse, I should say. Give this guy a fill. We'll make him white. Get rid of the stroke. No stroke. We will then duplicate him. We'll call this guy actually our background. We'll call this guy our stroke. And then we will give him a stroke. So this color here works. And then we'll get rid of the fill. Awesome. Now if we just open this up, we have our stroke down here, and I will add a trim paths right about there. If I play with this, notice I have this. All right. And if I wanted to, say, mess with the offset, I could do this as well, where I want it to start and where I want it to finish. So I'll bring this to right about down here, 63, keyframe it, make the beginning 0, right there. Play it back, I have this. Cool. Now I'm just gonna add the text and do the same process as I did for the other one. So here we have it. Nice. Now we could also move this to the middle if we wanted to, like this, and we could make it black, like that, or even the same color as this line here. No, the black looks better, like black. So we would have this. Now there's one other thing that I want to add here, because our stroke is actually on the outside and I want to put it inside the circle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on my stroke here, and then I will add an offset paths right over here, and then drag it up above your trim paths. And then what we're going to do is we're going to look at our actual stroke and the size of it. So it's 59. I'm going to make this 60 actually, like that. And for my offset paths, I'm going to make it negative of half of my stroke, so negative 30. And now it is inside of my ellipse. So if I play this back now, notice that I have this. All right, so that's how you can work with loading bars and pie charts when it comes to expressions. Until next time.